progressive musicians and Sound Espressivo are hosting live auditions for our Laureate Gala at Carnegie Hall this summer. Auditions are open to soloists, composers, small and large ensembles. You can also audition for an opportunity to perform a concerto with the New York Chamber Players Orchestra. Don't miss your opportunity to receive a professional video recording of your performance on this world-renowned stage.
Welcome to the Virtual Concert Hall's live show. My name is Chris Au, and I am a previous contestant of the 2020 Sound Espressivo competition. And now, this year, I am the 2021 Sound Espressivo competition judge, host, and social media manager. I've just started over a week ago, and it's been an absolute blast. Today, our segment is dedicated to introducing the prizes for contestants to win. Okay, now, this is going to be pretty surprising to you, but we're going to start with this striking statement that we give away no prize money, no cash award. Right, and previously we've been going through different parts of our competition, what's important to us, and why, for example, we went through why we give immediate feedback. Right, after you play, your student or a contestant like yourself will get immediate feedback from the jury member. So that's and jury members, and that's a really important part of our competition that we want to make sure we discuss in different broadcasts. In a previous broadcast, we also talked about how to sort through the endless array of competitions out there. You know, are competitions even useful anymore? What do we do with all these competitions out there? What do we do? So we talked about in points of immediate feedback, we talked about competitions, and we also talked about social media management and what that means as an artist, as a musician, and how important it is. You see a lot of indie artists and painters, they're all on Instagram and Twitter, and they're trying to get their message out there. It's a vehicle for self-expression. And so we're going through different parts of our competition and what we want to promote in order to really accentuate our goal, which is to educate, to empower, to encourage, and to nurture musicians from across the world to embrace their careers, to not wait till somebody gives it to you on a silver platter, but to take initiative. And so that's a really important part of what we have to offer as part of our competition. And like I said, a striking statement. And if you're joining us now, we give away no prize money, no cash awards, right? But don't worry, that doesn't mean that we don't give something of value, of true value, from opportunities to something where you can make connections, collaborations. And I think, and we all think, as part of this Sound Espressivo competition, that this is more valuable to a musician. These connections, these collaborations, these opportunities to look beyond your own horizons are more valuable than just giving contestants some cash. And here to explain this wildly innovative concept is the co-founder of Virtual Concert Halls and the Sound Espressivo competition, Dr. Anna Ouspenskaya.
Hi, Chris.
Hello. Thank
Hi,
you for
everyone.
joining us, and it's so lovely to see you. And we want to start with, could you explain to us what's this idea behind no prize money and the story behind this concept?
Okay, well, the competition was created by musicians, professional musicians, and we are performers and teachers. We have 40 plus judges, and when the concept was developed, it took several months for us arguing over what should be in the competition, what should not be. And the question on the table was, what do we want a new competition to look like? What do we want to give? What kind of value we wanted to provide so that we would want to enter it? Because there's a lot of competitions out there, right? Let's face it. And some competitions are well established and very old, and they've been in existence for a very long time. That concept was created 60, 70, 50 years ago. to suit the musicians market and the opportunities which were current then. Granted, those competitions had been created by brilliant people who really wanted to provide value to the musicians who were starting their careers and progressing their education at that time. The times have changed, and the opportunities are different, and the paths to successful education, to successful career in music are different. They're not completely different, but they're new ones. And we are a new competition. So the idea was, as a new competition, we need to distinguish ourselves as a current competition, which provides value to current young musicians and empowers them with the tools to progress in the current environment. Okay. I
want to highlight something that you said, that times have changed, right? And it's very particularly important because times are changing. This competition started right in the pandemic, right? The pandemic hit, and then regardless of who you are on this earth, times have changed. So can you elaborate more of how times have changed, not only around the world and pandemic-wise, but also with musicians and organizations? What do you mean by times have changed?
I want to say that the times have changed before the pandemic, okay? What pandemic did, it made us all aware of the changes. Before the pandemic, middle-aged generation of musicians like myself, we were quite comfortable in our zone where we had our concert tours and all the plans scheduled 5 years in advance, and it was all kind of working. And the pandemic hit, and then it highlighted the other opportunities out there, in particular in video and social media and broadcasting, and remote teaching and learning and all of that. They were there. We were just not as aware of them as when the pandemic hit and kind of glued us to the screen, basically. And a lot of musicians were open-minded enough to discover what good it gives, other than telling our kids, well, get off that phone, stop texting. We actually looked into what it is out there and how we as musicians can turn those tools into an empowerment.
Amazing.
So. Yeah. And that was the beginning of the creating the competition. Now I want to go back to the No Cash Awards. As a teacher and a successful educator, and I have my own piano studio with a lot of students who want to compete. Of course, I hear feedback. Okay, there's so many competitions out there, and I'm paying $100, $150 for participation, and then maybe I'll get $50 honorable mention award. That kind of feels not very inspiring, not very exciting. And besides, okay, what can you do with $50 nowadays?
Yeah,
not much.
No, that's right.
I mean, you can take your kid to Toys R Us and have a new Lego set, right? Or a kid can say, "Well, I'm
a small one, not a very big one either." Yeah.
Yeah, or your kid maybe can purchase a new set of Magic the Gathering cards or something like that, which parents not necessarily approve of, right?
What can you do?
There's the optics of online competitions and newer competitions specifically as being a ripoff. Basically, we are collecting $100, $150 from more people, and then we are reshoveling it to fewer people. This optics is not completely true, but it's there because there is a valid reason to suspect the competitions of just doing that. Sound Espressivo was built on the foundation of providing value to musicians and young students and older students and established, musicians at the beginnings of their careers, particularly, with a value which they can't purchase with $50.
Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm.
That was the whole point. That's the distinction of the concept. Also, we were looking at partnerships with companies which provide tested, proven, working models of services which actually work and move musicians forward, whether they're in the educational stages, they're young, maybe they're high school or elementary school students, or like yourself, at the beginnings of their careers. So we looked and basically put an X-ray kind of eye at what it is musicians really need. Musicians need stage, understanding of how to manage it, management services, And musicians need a lot of materials so that they can make themselves visible. They need equipment to record. They need ability to record. They need to know how to do it. They need to have trailers. They need to have a website. Right?
That's true.
Music teachers also need a website. A lot of great, excellent music teachers out there don't have a website. And they don't know even how to start with it. Give them $50. Are they going to make a website? No. It costs more, and it costs knowledge, and it costs ability to research and find the web designer who is going to do a good job with it. It's complicated. It's not easy. Whoever says, okay, just make a website, it's easy, and everybody will flock to your music studio. This is nonsense. People are lying. So we want it to be the honest competition who will connect businesses involved in the music industry, which provide necessary services to make a complete musician. Being a complete musician is much more, and always was more, than just learning how to play the next piece. Every established musician of the past, look at the history of Franz Liszt, Chopin, Beethoven, every one of them were really vested in the environment and how to navigate it. They knew where to find money for their projects. They knew who to talk to. They knew how to make flyers, right? Back then there was a press.
Promotion.
Right?
They had to
promotion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we want to empower teachers, musicians, young artists with those tools which they can't buy with a cash award. So we decided to get rid of the cash award.
I love what you're saying here. And if you're joining us right now, we're talking about this idea that we're not giving any cash awards. And why is that? Why does Sound Espressivo want to get away with with all that? And what is important? And I want to nail in a few really important points that Dr. Anna shared, and that is we want to create a complete musician. And what I really like about the prizes is that I think cash is easier to receive, but an opportunity, a chance to meet, to collaborate, to network, and to develop something yourself, that is harder, that is more difficult, and you have to be hungry. And I think professional musicians that you're describing, people who have a website, people who have a social media handle, who develop all facets of themselves and become complete, they're hungry. They want more than just what's given to them. They want to do more. They want to give more and share and contribute. So I love what you
We want to
said.
give them tools.
Absolutely.
As awards, we want to empower and see our slogan, Sound Espressivo Global Competition, empowering future musician. We want to empower musicians with the tools which they need today, not 50 years ago. The ones which they need today, they're current, and we actively seek more collaborations with companies which provide just those tools, and with businesses. So the first competition had collaboration with 17 companies. Currently, our count is 20. And we're seeking more and more collaborations. And granted, of course, if someone down the road, let's put it this way, when someone or some company down the road decides to establish a substantial cash award, not $50, but substantial, something which can have an impact, a real empowering impact to a musician, we're not going to turn it down. Yeah. As of now, we are distinguishing ourselves and separating ourselves from any concept which looks like a Halloween candy handout.
That's good. Yeah. And I think what that does is it says, look, if you're here for money, if you're going to compete for money, go somewhere else. But if you
I can tell you where you go. You go where there is money. You go to Tchaikovsky competition.
Yep.
You go to Queen Elizabeth competition, and I'm serious about it. You go to Rubinstein competition. Those competitions ramped up their prize money, and they're doing phenomenal job. And those money are really worth your effort preparing for such a competition. You need to be qualified, of course, because the level is extraordinarily high. Everyone wants to compete for a $100,000 cash award. And Sound Espressivo competition will get there. Give us some time.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. And in lieu of getting to that $100,000 cash prize, what's important is actually you're opening doors, and the goal of encouraging, nurturing, rewarding musicians for being proactive about their careers, I think is so important. You want, and the really cool thing is it's not just musicians, the right musicians you get, but also the right prize givers. They want people who are also proactive about their careers, and you have people from Polyphony Arts, from the Colburn School, and they're nurturing with master classes classes, summer festivals, they're nurturing these students because they want, and we have a little slideshow here of, what we have to offer. We're music to meeting, Coburn School, polyphony arts, and many more masterclasses to really empower musicians to seek these opportunities. And if you go, like, for example, I've been to masterclasses myself, and you can attend, smile the teacher, and then leave. But what happens if you talk to the teacher afterwards? What happens if you approach the organizer and say, thank you so much? And if they like your playing, maybe they'll offer you a little concert. It's these little steps that you take to be proactive about your career, which, I believe you're trying to offer. That if you say, look, all you have to do is send an email or message them or connect with them properly.
Exactly.
These opportunities are all there.
Yeah, the networking, and of course, as you were watching the slideshow, each company offers what they are best at. For example, in the slideshow, you saw the Momentum Artists. It's a New York-based management company, and they are offering to different levels of service, including full sign-up to their roster. Of one of the musicians or two musicians, and we give also managers a say in the matter. And that's another important concept which musicians who created this concept, it was a big collegiate work, were strong on it. We need to give a proper voice to those management companies which are awarding their prizes. They need to have a say in the matter who the awardees are going to be, because, for instance, a video trailer may not be the best suitable award for one musician, but can be a really powerful tool in the hands of the other. And same goes to the management companies awarding, signing up to their roster. Someone may not be ready for that. But someone may need access to a vast library of vetted master courses by biggest names in the industry, and then iClassical Academy, for instance, offers full access to their library, which has master courses recorded by the best musicians of the past 70 years, and access to that maybe some in the hands of a teacher of a younger student, and the student himself may be the best prize for them. So the managers of the companies which offer prizes, they know their company best. So we invite them to the competition to help choose most suitable match between a winner and the prize.
Yeah, that's really, really, it's actually incredible that you're doing this, because it's not just about, it is about the music, it's very important, but it's also about the musicians, about the people behind those opportunities. And what you're doing is you're drawing people together. You're saying, look, we're far away, but through this, StreamYard, through all these, ways of broadcasting and have a live stream competition, we can gather everyone together and say, look, we have a talented person from, I don't know, let's say Australia, where I'm from.
Yeah, we have a talented person from Australia right here on the show.
We have an amazing management group, maybe in Europe. And how can we connect these dots together? How can we make this work? And I think what you're doing is not only inspiring for me, but it also makes me really excited that this is possible now. You're making full use of the internet, the virtual world, to bring people together.
That's the whole point. And I'm glad you pointed out that it's focused on people. The Sound Espressivo competition is really focused on musicians and people, because at the end of the day, people are the ones who drive events, who drive things to happen, and people are the ones who are making choices and decisions. So we invite everyone's voice to be heard in the process.
Amazing. And thank you for, everyone joining so far. If you're just joining us now, we're talking about this incredible idea that the co-founder of Virtual Concert Halls and Sound Espressivo competition kind of put on, is that we don't hand out cash prizes. And why is that? Why do we get rid of this cash award? And what do we offer instead? Well, we're offering management, we're offering masterclasses, we're offering photography studio sessions, we're offering coaching, professional career coaching, and website design, all these other things which we feel is a really good way to propel these musicians forward. You can win a cash prize, but we don't know what you're going to do with that money.
Well, you may not even know yourself. What am I going to do with $75?
Yeah, but if we give you an opportunity to say, look, take this coaching course. We know this person's amazing, and you try it out, and you discover, wow, I'm capable of doing so much. And you have all these success stories, which we'll share in different broadcasts. We're doing, leading up to the November 30th of, the deadline, we're doing a lot of these broadcasts almost every week, many broadcasts per week.
Close to every day. And
Yeah,
we are going to bring some people to tell their stories. We follow our winners and laureates closely. We learn what they're doing and how they put the prizes to work, and what worked, what didn't, and we're going to showcase all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in. And I want to, if you don't mind, Doctor, I'm going to end with a question, a bit more personal. I want to ask, what spurred you on? Was there a moment in your life that spurred you on? Can you tell us a story of what spurred you on to become not just a performer, but a little bit more? You want to try different things, be a bit of an entrepreneur and try different things. Was there a moment in your life that you decided, yeah, I can play piano, but I can do other things?
For me personally, it's a good question, Chris. Thank you for asking. For me personally, there was never a moment of change. I always felt like music is such a powerful language. I can do so much more with it. And it just always interested me. And yes, I spent hours and hours practicing and honing my skill and traveling and performing. I was part of the child prodigy culture. But I observed the people who made those concerts and events happen, and I was part of larger society of that, and it was very inspiring to me. I always felt like I can do a lot of practicing, I can do a lot of performing, and I can do a lot of more other things. So yeah.
No, that's really great, and it's really inspiring to me, because I also feel the same way. I'm in the beginning of it all, but it's really inspiring to see someone who says, no, I'm not giving up on music. And I think it's a particularly important message for a lot of people who maybe people my age or people in my generation who feel like, should I continue in this? Should I do this? Is it worth my while? And I feel it's very inspiring to see someone like you who's continued to teach and perform and play chamber music and do all these things, but also have a business, and also to try to do something different and try to make this music world a better place, connect people and draw people together. And your actions speak louder than your words, because this competitions are all about that. So it's
yeah, I'm going to throw in one thing, which my father, who is a symphony conductor and a sports pilot and a builder of the boats. I think maybe I would learn a few things from him. He used to say that there's many more hours in a day than you can ever imagine. Just treat every 15 minutes as a valuable stretch of time where you can get a lot done.
Wow. To divide the day into 15-minute blocks and just make the most out of those, huh?
Yeah,
I think that's really amazing.
It's one of the advices.
You had a really good role model growing up to see a lot of things were really possible.
Oh yeah, I did. There's a lot of stories, and I remember him pulling me out of school secretly to take me to the airfield where they were fixing engines. And he went to the office and he took me in there and he said, we have a really urgent, important matter we need to do. Please let her off. There's a couple of classes.
Really important. It's a matter of life and death.
Yeah, and I loved these things, and my mom were not to know.
I love that. Well, if you want to hear more of Dr. Anna's stories, tune in to our very frequent and informative and educational broadcast, which we're going to do leading up to the competition. This is really, I fully believe that this competition is one that strives to give opportunities for musicians who want to discover the unique artistic voice, take initiative, and carve out their own careers. I think it's important that musicians carve out their own careers, not carve out a career that's given to them or placed upon them, but to discover their own voices. And so we're doing that.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Chris. Let's live the freedom for which we all strive.
I love your enthusiasm and passion. This obviously is something that's very dear to your heart. And so tune in next time. We're going to keep going through these series, and we want to make sure that we address every little part of our competition. We explain it all for everybody, from the prizes. We're going to go in much more detail about the prizes. We're going into much more detail about how the tech setup. If you want to send your students in, how does all the tech setup work? Microphone, webcam, what does a green room look like? Everything. So we want to give everybody a chance to see what it is like behind the scenes, and we'll give a lot of people different bits of information every day, pretty much now. So tune in next time, And we want to, before we finish, we want to thank Dr. Anna for just being so graciously answering all my questions about your childhood.
Thank you for asking those questions. You really ask great questions. And I want to thank our audience for tuning in and for watching us in the replays. And tune in again. We have a lot more interesting points to make. And I want to also thank very much our backbone, Virtual Concert Hall's crew and teams of producers. And today, our producers Ante Božić Kudrić, who is also a pianist. And he's no longer technical assistant. That has to be changed on the card, which you're seeing. That's not true. He is the director of this show. And thank you very much for helping us and making this happen.
Thank you, Ante. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. This is just such a pleasure. And so please keep tuning in. We're going to do more, and we hope to entertain and engage and inform and educate everyone about our competition and what we strive to do. And so thank you, Ante.
Yeah, join our community. Thank you, everyone. And with that, we'll say goodbye.
See you next time.
See you next
time.
time.
Bye for now.
Progressive musicians and Sound Espressivo are hosting live auditions for our Laureate Gala at Carnegie Hall this summer. Auditions are open to soloists, composers, small and large ensembles. You can also audition for an opportunity to perform a concerto with the New York Chamber Players Orchestra. Don't miss your opportunity to receive a professional video recording of your performance on this world